Welcome to Astoria Film Festival's virtual step and repeat interviews. Today we're speaking with Natalia Saw Lady Paruz, whose film Like a Wild Plant is in our 2020 film festival.
I've played the musical Saw on many movies, such as Time Out of Mind with Richard Gere, Another Earth on Fox Searchlight, The Jinx on HBO, many others. Usually you don't see me on screen, you just hear my playing. Though there are some movies like Dummy with Adrian Brody, you do see me playing on the screen, but usually you just hear me. I started a website, musicalsawmusic.com, and this website is geared towards film directors, filmmakers, in the hope that they will go there, browse the different tracks that I have, and hopefully would want to use, download some of the cues for their own projects, for their own films. So having this website made me think, maybe it will be interesting to create short music videos, not only to showcase my own playing, of course, but also in order to show film creators the possibilities of what kind of scenes might the sound of the musical saw be conducive for, because a lot of people don't really know this instrument, even though it is used a lot on movie soundtracks, but people don't realize that that is the sound that they hear. So, if you will, I came into the world of filmmaking through the back door of making music for films. So this particular film, Like a Wild Plant, this was a little bit different because this film came out of loss and out of a search for identity and meaning that came out of it, out of the loss. This film came out of my personal mourning, and out of the belief that one should, and that it's possible, to create a statement about the human soul. And since the work of an artist is to give some sort of testimony on themselves and on the lives of others, I try to present what I was going through in the hope that others will find themselves in it, because after all, this is something that everybody goes through at some point in their lives.
Yes.
It's just that it happened to me in a very concentrated way. And I'll tell you, November 2018, my father died. A week later, my cat died. And 2 weeks later, my mother-in-law died. And after that, a whole bunch of my father's friends basically died one after the other in a very short period of time. So it was a cumulative loss, a cumulative pain. And from this collision with a hard blow, with this pain, burst out a film. Death is the most mysterious place in our lives. There is something mystical in the moment of death. There's a person's presence one moment, and the next moment, he isn't here. Where did that presence disappear to? And this is something that actually there's a moment in my film that is exactly about this. This thing that you can't grasp and you can't see, but it exists. This is a question of our existence. I mean, we're all dealing with this. All our fears and what drives us in life is because of this thing that we cannot grasp. So basically, death is what defines life. And my proximity to death in that time in my life, and my attempt to document it with a camera, is kind of like I was saying, okay, my whole life I'm on my way there anyway, so there's no point of running away from it. I wanted to get close to this mystery, and if you will, maybe there was something defiant about it, like I was saying, don't run away from this, see this. And I have to say that after I finished working on my film, so I was watching the film, and it's kind of weird to say, but I learned something from my own film. An artist tries to express something which is not conscious, and I think the process of creating is kind of similar to the process of dreaming. First you dream. You don't really have control over what you're dreaming. Then you interpret it, maybe. What I learned from my film is that my whole life, my father was my best friend, and I identified with his life. And now I'm identifying with his death. It's like my father's circumstance has changed, but I am still identifying with him. So that was kind of interesting. But I want to say to the viewers that even though we're dealing with death and you know, it's all this sad stuff, the film is not gory. There's no crying. There's no wailing in it. What there is in the film is beauty. There's beautiful visuals and beautiful music. I mean, basically, this is life. So we might as well try to see beauty where we can.
Are you working on any new films now or new videos for your music?
I am. I decided to work on a smaller scale music video that also has to do with death, but it is really a tribute to the residents of Staten Island. I recently chanced to meet quite a few people from Staten Island, and I was amazed how so many of them have personal experiences, stories that they told about their own ghostly experiences. The denominator of quite a few of those stories is that it took place in a forest. There's a lot of different forests on Staten Island. Their experience is very different. Theirs is very peaceful. And it basically shows the coexistence of different times in history, kind of like what Albert Einstein was saying in his theory, that time is not linear, but rather vertical, which is a very difficult concept to come to grips with. But so basically I'm showing, I will be filming in a forest in Staten Island. But the interesting thing for me in this is that, differently from my previous film, where first I filmed, I created the footage, and then I asked Astoria composer Scott Munson to write music to it. Here, first I asked him to write a piece of music, and I described what I wanted to express. We recorded this music last week, and now it's in post-production for the music. Then I'm going to take this piece of music into the forest with me, and I'm going to film to it.
Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up, or?
Well, just that I would like to invite fellow film directors and filmmakers to check out my website, musicalsawmusic.com. See if you can find some music cue that you might like to use, or maybe you would want me to create something particularly for your film. I would love that. This
Wonderful.
was fun.
It was so nice to meet you.
Really nice meeting you, and hopefully soon in real life.